So hello and welcome everybody. Today I'm going to be performing a demonstration on how to partition hard drives in FDISK. So where it would say starting Windows 98, you need to hammer the F8 key to bring up this menu. And I'm going to choose command prompt only. Ignore the Sound Blaster live error. So now I'm going to type FDISK, and it's going to bring up this screen. This is predominantly for FAT32. It says your computer has a disk larger than 512 megabytes. It's actually 2 gigabytes is the cap on a FAT or FAT16 partition. But if you want to read all that, you can pause the video. So I'm going to enable large disk support. Now it's going to pop up another screen here about NTFS partitions, and the reason it's part of my demonstration. You will see momentarily. So the way that I have this set up is I want to kind of encapsulate every single possible way that you do anything in here. Alright, so I have 2 hard drives in this machine. The boot drive I'm not going to mess with. That's my Windows 98 drive. The second drive, however, I'm going to show you how you access that. But let's look at the first drive. Okay, so if you look at the options on the menu here, I'm going to choose option 4, display partition information. And you can see there's my Windows 98 partition. It's a 20 gigabyte drive, and it's obviously FAT32, right? Just as a disclaimer, this video is not intended for like experienced people. It's for people that are either lapsed DOS users that just haven't done this in like 25 years, or you're new to this thing and you've never done this before, okay? But Windows 98, if you go back to that second screen that popped up about NTFS stuff, Windows 98 can't read NTFS partitions because that's a Windows NT thing, right? Windows 98 can only do FAT or FAT32. So I'm going to hit escape, and now I'm going to choose my other drive. In case you have to do this, this is how you do it. Okay, and the drives are numbered. You see the 1 and 2? So I'm going to choose option 2 to select fixed disk 2. Now I'm going to go back to option 4 to display the partition information again. And you will see I have an NTFS partition, and then the second one is EXT DOS. That's an extended DOS partition. And I did it that way for a very calculated purpose that you will see in a bit. Okay? But this dialog at the bottom here is asking me if I want to see the logical drives in the extended partition space. And choose option Y, hit enter, and there it is. There's my FAT32 partition in the extended partition space. Alright, so let's hit escape, go back to the first screen. So in order for me to be able to use this drive in Windows 98 or MS-DOS or whatever you're doing it with. This drive is too big for MS-DOS. You'd have like 10 drive letters. But watch this, okay? So I'm going to select option 3 this time, delete partition or logical DOS drive, okay? And I want to delete that NTFS partition. That's what I want to do first, right? Well, if you look at the options here, you got primary DOS partition, which it is not a primary DOS partition. It is a primary partition, however. You can't delete extended DOS partition yet because I got logical drives in there, and I'm not going to delete the logical drive. I want to delete this NTFS drive. And here's how you do it. You select option 4, delete non-DOS partition, because it's not a DOS partition, right? And there it is. So what non-DOS partition do you want to delete? Well, I'm going to choose option 1. That's the NTFS drive. and I could have swore I assigned a volume label to that. I called it NTFS, but if you have a volume label set, it will pop up another dialog asking you to type out the volume label, and that's like a safety measure. Unless no, it doesn't apply to this because it's NTFS. My bad. You'll see it on the next one. Okay, and I'm gonna say yes to continue. Okay, that's gone. Now all we got is this extended DOS partition. Let's go back here. See that? So now I want to delete this FAT32 partition. Okay, so let's go back to option 3, delete partition or logical DOS drive. And you cannot do option 2 yet. You have to get rid of all the logical partitions first. Okay, you can read that out. So I'm going to choose option 3. And since this is a DOS drive, I use the drive letter. You see how it's got drive D on the left side there? So I'm going to choose option D. And now it wants me to enter the volume label, which I called it FAT32. I'm sure. Okay. That's deleted. Now when all your logical partitions are deleted, it will, nope. Now I go back to delete extended DOS partition. You see this here. And you select Y. And it's gone. Let's go back to option 4, display partition information. And there's no partitions defined. I deleted them all. So now you don't have to restart here, by the way. After you delete the old ones, you don't have to restart yet. You can create the new one. So I'm going to do that now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do a primary, an extended, and a logical drive inside the extended. Okay. Every time you do this, it has to verify the drive integrity, so you have to sit and wait. I did one of my other drives, I believe it was an 80 gig Western Digital drive. It would actually fail on this step, and that's because it had bad sectors. It would just kind of keep looping over and over. It would get to like, I don't know, like 93%, and then it would start over all the way at the beginning, and it would just keep going and going and going, and the drive was bad. I didn't throw it away though. I still have it. Maybe that'll make a good other demonstration. Like, here's what a bad hard drive looks like. Okay. Now, I don't want to use the maximum available size. Okay? And if you tell it no, it goes through the whole process again. Welcome to old computer technology. Eventually. Okay. So you can specify how big you want the partition to be. I'm just going to hit backspace to clear it, and I'm going to use 16888. Okay, so I have a primary partition created. Now, let's go back to option 1, and I want to create an extended DOS partition. And of course, we got to wait for the drive integrity test again. And so you're going to allocate, this is the remaining space left on the drive. So I'm just going to use that number. And there's the extended partition. And then when you hit escape, it goes to the create logical drive. So you can see at the top, create logical DOS drives, the extended DOS partition. And I'm just going to use the remaining space. There it is. It assigned it to drive E. And now let's go back to option 4. There it is. My primary was my extended. And then there's the logical drive in the extended space. All right. And then it gives you this warning. You have to restart. So I hit Control-Alt-Delete. Get ready to hammer the F8 key after the screen here. Alright. Go back to command prompt only. And now, let's say I go to my drive D. It's going to pop up this error message, and that just means that the drive isn't formatted. So you hit A to abort, C colon, go back to your C drive. And I'm going to type format D. I'll throw /Q. It's not going to quick format. It always errors out. See that? So you have to sit and wait for it to slow format, and it's not cool. But that kind of concludes what I have to say here. It is going to pop up some information at the end, but that doesn't matter. You can figure that out. So I am going to sign off here.